0 to 100 in less than 3 seconds. We race. Hilbrand gets a perfect start as the Lennox Racing teammates almost come together on the second row of the grid. Matteo Vigano 31 and Tom Luyer 30. And as predicted, Jeremy Iglesias, the 28 CRG, has made a great start as we lose one of the Birolats into the grass, 2 of the Birolats into the grass on the opening lap of the race. Hilbrand's gone. He races up the back straight already with possibly a 50-metre lead. Superstar from the Spaniard who goes through. There is the top CRG in 3rd place. It was Palomba who's out. Giuseppe Palomba, last year's WSK Euro Series champion on his home circuit, has retired a mere 300 metres after the start. Palomba is out. They come across the line for the first time. Hilbrand looks over his right shoulder. The blind goes down on the radiator. Vigano in 2nd place, withstanding the charge from Jeremy, the Jet Iglesias. The 28 CRG goes through down the inside. Jeremy forces the move, and the CRG goes through to take position 2. Nicely done by the 34-year-old Frenchman, the 2020 world champion, the professional kart racer from France, circuit manager down at the Brignoles circuit. The Bianchi family watching on, their close family friend. He's been into 2nd place briefly as they race down the back straight, but now he's back to 4th. Time goes by. Matteo Vigano also takes him as well. Vigano on the podium at Lonato retakes 2nd place, trying to catch Pedro Hilbrand. The gap last time was 0.8 of a second. There's the 16 Birolat disappearing from view. Back into 2nd, we watch Matteo, Jeremy, Tom, Alessio Piccini up into P5. Superstar from the top Tuscan. Paolo Ippolito behind, ahead of Senna Van Wallstein. So we'll keep one eye on the championship as it stands. Pedro Hilbrand, if he can take the victory and Senna does not move up, you can see the graphic to the right of your screen. Pedro would take the title. Senna Van Wallstein, who dominated the season opening WSK Champions Cup and won the first round of the series, he's in trouble. There's the Dutchman going through in position 7. As we see the Lennox Racing team drivers gang up on Jeremy, the CRG going back to P4. Tom Luyer in great form here this afternoon in kart 30. So the karts manufactured in Lissone, their 1st, 2nd and 3rd. The gap is now 1.4 seconds between Pedro and Matteo. Tom into P3 from Jeremy. Paolo Ippolito P5. You can see the dust flying in the background. We've had an almighty crash down on the start-finish line. The drivers are okay. They've in fact basically continued on. One of the Sodi kart drivers involved, it is the 43 Sodi kart. We'll tell you who that is in a moment. As we look back to the race leader, we are momentarily distracted because a big crash has taken out part of the timing system here at Sarno. There's Senna Van Wallstein going through. Emilian Denner up into P8 from grid 14, the fastest driver on the circuit. And indeed, we have a full course yellow. So the gap of 1.6 seconds from Pedro back to Matteo Vigano has been neutralised. Full course yellow here at Sarno in the WSK Supermaster Series final. Matteo Spirgel was the driver involved. An almighty crash down the start-finish straight at over 140 k's an hour. He's okay, but there is damage to the timing system, also involving the 13 Kart Republic of, would you believe, Stan Pex, the round 2 winner. His side pod has just been carried back off the side of the circuit. A forgettable weekend for Stan Pex. His championship is over. Full course yellow here at Sarno. Stan Pex is out, coming together with Matteo Spirgel. Moritz Ebner is also out, and Giuseppe Palomba was out a few hundred meters after the start. So the race has been neutralized. The drivers are fine, but we had to neutralize the circuit because there was concern for the timing system. You can see they're working on it on the start-finish straight. Pedro comes across the line from Matteo Vigano, Tom Luye, Jeremy in P4, Ippolito and Alessio Piccini, the drivers from Tuscany, in 5 and 6 million. Dennis Van Wallstein, P8. If he finishes there, he will miss the title by 29 points. Pedro would take it. He'll have another crack when we do finally go green. And as you look at Pedro Hilbrand, kart 16 for the Birrell Art Racing team. There is still debris being cleared off at the start-finish straight. The order at the bottom of your screen. There is Giuseppe Palombo, the bottom left. Confirmation, the local hope is out, the WSK Euro Series champion for the Birrell Art team. Still sweeping the debris off the start-finish straight. A crash has taken out Spiergel, Vasile, Moritz Ebner. And Stan Pex is actually still circulating and trying to get a look at the 13 Kart Republic. Indeed, you may get a glimpse of him coming through with no right side pod, which is just to the left of your screen, sitting behind the barrier. Stan Pex will inevitably be issued with mechanical defect flag. He has no right side pod. He's still driving as hard as he possibly can. The front NASA panel of Stan's kart is vibrating badly. So it's been a less than great weekend for the Dutchman, who won round 2 of the Supermaster Series at Lonato. We are getting ready to go green next time round. We'll start lap 8 under green. Our race director, Mr. Alessandro Ferrari, is down on the start-finish straight with the green flag, ready to wave it for the field, which is now without Spiegel, Vasile, Ebner, and of course Palomba. Pedro Hilbrand's got the lead from the Lennox Racing Team drivers. Jordan Lennox Lamb, who won as a driver 2012, the WSK Supermaster Series for CRG. His drivers as a team manager, a team owner, together with Ferrari Formula One star Charles Leclerc. They're running in at 2nd and 3rd place. And watch Jeremy in the CRG in position 4 off the start. Pedro controls the pace and now accelerates. For the 2nd time this afternoon in KZ2, we race. Hilbrand pulls away, the track is clear and we go green. P5, Ippolito, Piccini going through. We're keeping one eye on Van Wallstein, who's ahead of his countryman. Laurens van Hoppen, the fastest qualifier in the 33 Lennox kart. He's back in P9 ahead of his teammate Levinsky, the local hope, the sole remaining local driver from here in Naples. Here's Francesco Cialenta, Michael Paparo, Irlando, Renaudin, Albanese, Tontori in position 16. Matteo Vigano, P3 in round 2 of the championship at Lonato. And he closes in on the back of Pedro. They've gone wheel to wheel on the kart circuits of the world over the best part of the last decade. And it's the karts built by Birrell Art who run 1, 2 and 3. Slightly wider line this time for Pedro Hilbrand. He'll give the slipstream, the all-important toe, to Vigano as they come down the start-finish straight at 143 k's an hour after the restart. Inevitably, the mechanical defect flag has been displayed for Stan Pex. His championship is over. He's circulating without the right side pod. The round 2 winner will have to pit. His championship is over. So Pedro grabs another gear, 140 k's an hour, as Tom takes Matteo and the teammates fight amongst themselves, and Jeremy Iglesias tries to capitalize in the 28 CRG. Back behind is Paolo Ippolito and Alessio Piccini. Alessio also for the Birrell Art Racing team. And behind him, Van Wallstein, who dominated the opening races of the 2022 WSK international season. Hilbrand, though, ominously is pulling away once again. Van Wallstein, frustrated, sitting in behind Alessio Piccini. Van Wallstein with Emilian Denner right behind him. We'll see the 2 Sodi karts, the 2 teammates in the Sodi kart Sigma try and work together, trying to catch up to Paolo Ippolito. And just as we say that, Alessio Piccini has fallen back behind them. He's in position 9 as they race down the back straight. The orange and white fluorescent machines as one of the Birrell Arts goes cross-country. It's Hilbrand! Hilbrand is out! That was Pedro, oh, can you believe this? Pedro absolutely furious. He's out of the race, he's rolled to a stop. Pedro is out. Pedro is out of the race after dominating the final up until this point. Matteo Viganò assumes the race lead. It is the Lennox Racing team who go 1 and 2. Jeremy up into third place, and Paolo Ippolito just a step off the podium. Down into the final corner, Pedro with a problem, pulls to the side of the circuit. He's out. Colpo di scena, as they say in Italian, an absolute shock. Pedro Hilbrand would have taken the Supermaster Series title. Not only has Matteo Viganò assumed the lead, but with that, Senna van Wallstein once again takes the top spot in the Virtual Championship. Senna van Wallstein now up into P5. There is the Dutchman in the Soddy Cut. He will win the Supermaster Series to go with his WSK Champions Cup title if he can bring it home in position 6, even though he's fallen behind his teammate Emilian Denner. Pedro is out. There's the confirmation to the bottom right of your screen. Senna van Wallstein would take the title just from Matteo Viganò, who leads the final here at Sano. A sensation here at Sano. Pedro Hilbrand, who is dominating the final. The 16 Birulat rolled to a stop at that corner right there. 2 laps ago. El Catalan has retired, and with that loses any hope of taking the WSK Supermaster Series. The round 2 winner, Stan Pex, he is also out. It is now a fight between the driver who leads the race, leads the final, Matteo Viganò, and Senna van Wallstein, the Dutchman in P5. In fact, P6, there's Denner going through. Emilian Denner, who finished P2 at Lonato. So quick is the driver from Strasbourg on the French-German border. Emilian Denner, former International Super Cup winner. He won the Supermaster Series at Lonato last year for the Intrepid kart racing team. Finished on the podium at Lonato, picked up by the Soddy Kart racing team for 2022. A season of racing Formula 3 down in New Zealand before the world came to a grinding stop. Emilian Denner is catching Paolo Ippolito, Jeremy Iglesias. At the moment, the former world champion is on the podium trying to pass both the Frenchman Tom Louillet and the driver from Bergamo in the north of Italy, the race leader, Matteo Viganò. Moved down the inside by Ippolito. Fabulous pass. And the Kart Republic goes by the CRG. The Lennox Racing team in the Charles Leclerc karts. They go 1-2. Ippolito, Paolo on the podium. Super drive from Paolo. He was racing with us in the WSK Supermaster Series 1 decade ago in what was then KF3 or KF Junior. He's now in P3 in KZ2. Former race winner in KZ2 in the Euro Championships as well, Paolo Ippolito. As we see Matteo and Tom both simultaneously looking over their right side shoulder. There is Jeremy Iglesias from Brignoles in the south of France. The 28 CRG P4. Denner 5, Senna van Wallstein still in position 6. Senna van Wallstein would still take this title for the Soddy Kart racing team. So deep under brakes does Tom Louillet. Had that big crash at Lonato last year when he was racing for Praga in the Supermaster Series. Has recovered from that. Was denied a podium in the opening round of the championship at Lonato when, dare I even say, he had, well, let's just say he didn't finish. I don't want to mock him or curse him by saying he had an engine oh, I just said it. Let's hope Tom comes home in second place. He's driving a great race. It is the Charles Leclerc Lennox Racing Team drivers 1 and 2. Ippolito's catching him. Both of them, in fact. That will have championship consequences. 2.5 laps from the checkered flag here in Naples. Senna up into P5 because Denner has had a problem. And in fact, Emilian Denner has also retired. Senna, another couple of points. The virtual championship will change as they come across the line for the second to last time. 2 laps now remaining in the WSK Supermaster Series final at one of the fastest circuits in the world. Ippolito now right on the back of Tom Louillet. Matteo Viganò pulls out 0.2 of a second over his teammate. 148 k's an hour, the fastest speeds we've seen through the speed trap this weekend in KZ2. Matteo Viganò, P3 at Lonato. He'll come up just a handful of points short. Here is Senna van Walstein. He had electrical issues in one of the heats. He was despondent after not finishing the second heat yesterday morning. The Soddy Kart, the fluorescent orange and white machine from France. With the Dutch driver, P5, that will be enough for him to take the title. This is the last lap, ultimo giro per Matteo Vigano. There is Senna van Walstein. One more lap and he claims the title. Moraine Kramers holds on to the WSK Supermaster Series Championship for all of another 50-odd seconds. MK will relinquish the title at the end of this lap. Matteo Vigano driving superbly. Jeremy will miss the podium. The CRG driver in position 4. Matteo down the back straight goes defensive for the final time. Ippolito has driven brilliantly. Jeremy falls back. Senna goes through. P5 will be enough. They accelerate into the hairpin for the final time. A dominant performance from the Lennox Racing Team driving the Charles Leclerc karts. Matteo Vigano wins the round here at Sano. And with that, takes second in the Supermaster Series. We wait. Senna van Walstein crosses the line in position 5. And with that, the Dutchman is the WSK Supermaster Series champion for 2022.